Welcome to Frederick at its best. I'm Frederick County Executive Jan Gardner. And today we're pleased to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Zeta Phi Beta sorority. The Zeta Phi Beta sorority was founded on January 16, 1920 at Howard University in Washington, D.C. During the time the sorority was formed, our nation was in transition. And I guess we can say our nation is always in some kind of transition. But Prohibition began in 1920. Women earned the right to vote with Tennessee's ratification of the 19th Amendment. And the Harlem Renaissance emerged as an important movement of Black artists and writers in the United States. It was within this environment that 5 college students envisioned a sorority that would directly affect positive change and chart a course of action for the future. The founders sought to raise the consciousness of African American women, encourage the highest standards of scholastic achievement, and foster a greater sense of unity among its members. Since its inception, Zeta has continued its steady climb into the national spotlight with programs designed to demonstrate concern for the human condition, both nationally and internationally. It was the first sorority to charter a chapter in the continent of Africa, and the first to form auxiliary groups, and the first to be constitutionally bound to a fraternity, the Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. The sorority takes great pride in transforming communities through volunteer service from its members and its auxiliaries. Zeta Phi Beta has chartered hundreds of chapters worldwide and has a membership of over 100,000. Frederick County is home to one of these chapters, the Beta Alpha Sigma Zeta chapter. Zeta chapters and auxiliaries have contributed countless hours of voluntary service to educate the public, assist youth, fund scholarships, support organized charities, and promote legislation for social and civic change. The sorority promotes the highest academic ideals, which has resulted in its members serving in groundbreaking roles in all fields of endeavor. It is this spirit that the local chapter, Beta Alpha Sigma Zeta, works to make a difference in Frederick County. The local chapter was chartered on November 20th, 2016, by 6 women who shared goals of fostering the ideals of service, charity, scholarship, social action, and cultural objectives, and to empower youth through the embodiment of sisterhood and finer womanhood. I'm going to ask the women who've joined me today to talk about what the sorority means to them and to share a little bit about what the sorority's work involves. But I first want to read a proclamation. Whereas Beta Alpha Sigma Zeta chapter, the local chapter of Zeta Phi Beta sorority, was chartered on November 20th, 2016 by 6 women in Frederick County, Maryland, with the purpose of fostering the ideals of scholarship, service, sisterhood, and finer womanhood. And whereas members of the chapter are committed to providing their time, talents, and service to enhance the quality of life and level of community support by uplifting the principles of Zeta Phi Beta sorority, they award an annual scholarship to Frederick County High School seniors and have raised funds to support a number of nonprofits such as the March of Dimes. And whereas the Beta Alpha Sigma Zeta chapter joins in the celebration of the centennial anniversary of Zeta Phi Beta sorority, the sorority retains its original zest for excellence and espouses its highest academic ideals that have resulted in its members serving in groundbreaking roles in all fields of endeavor. Zeta Phi Beta sorority is poised for perpetual service to mankind and into her 2nd century and beyond. Whereas on behalf of the citizens of Frederick County, I want to commend the Zeta Phi Beta sorority Incorporated on 100 years of transforming lives. Not every organization can say they've survived for a full century. And the Beta Alpha Sigma Zeta chapter for carrying out that good purpose. So I want to thank all of you for helping to ensure a bright future for Frederick County and beyond. And so now, therefore, as the County Executive of Frederick County, Maryland, I hereby proclaim today, March 3rd, 2020, as Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Day, and commend this observance to all of our citizens. So with that, I will pass the microphone to you first as the president.
All righty. Good morning, everyone. I'm Janine Salafu, the president of Beta Alpha Sigma Zeta chapter here in Frederick. And as Madam County Executive has said, she knows our history very well. But I wanted to focus on our founders because they're the reasons why we're celebrating 100 years. And as Madam County Executive mentioned, She said that they were founded by 5 women. And these 5 co-ed undergrads at Howard University, they were very zealous. That's a key word that we use in Zeta, to show your spirit for Zeta, and getting Zeta started. But they also had founding principles, and we have 4 founding principles: scholarship, service, sisterhood, and final womanhood. The one that's most dear to me, that spoke to me and why I'm a Zeta, is final womanhood. And actually, March, in honor of Women History Month, is when we celebrate final womanhood, the last week of February and into the end of March 31st. And final womanhood to me is the epitome of being a woman. You're not perfect, but you're striving for perfection. And all my women know what I'm talking about. You're striving for perfection, but you're being finer in the way you conduct yourself. And final womanhood is a lifestyle where you have to constantly challenge yourself. What I'm doing, finer. Am I responding to this situation in a finer way? Am I acting in a finer way? So we as Zetas have to always be conscious of, are we being finer? I will pass it on to Sandra Belcher, our Vice President.
Hello, I'm Sandra Belcher, Vice President, Beta Alpha Sigma Zeta Chapter. I am a proud member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and one of the initiatives that sticks out to me is community service. I've always been a community service-oriented individual, even as a youth, a teenager, when I was in college. So Zeta just fit right into my mode of life, what I was born on this earth to do. Also, our chapter, our local chapter, was established by 6 women who lived in Frederick County at the time, Frederick County, Maryland. And we came together and decided to initialize a chapter here because there were no Zeta chapters within a short mile radius of where we lived. And we were developed on November 20th, 2016. And since then we have grown, we have doubled our membership, and we are thankful for that. And also for women who are interested in learning about final womanhood, we are having an informational membership meeting on April the 18th at 1:30 at the Seabird Arts Library. So if you're interested, please come out.
Okay. You want to pass the microphone?
Thank you so much, Madam. My name is Juana Anderson. I'm a charter member of this illustrious and fantastic chapter, and I'm also a Zeta legacy, and that means that my mother was a member of Gamma Delta Zeta in Cleveland, Ohio. My daughter pledged Zeta in North Carolina A&T. My sister was a solo pledgee, if you will, at Howard University Alpha Chapter, as was I. So Zeta is my heart, and I'm very, very proud and humble and excited to be on this stage with these amazing, amazing women. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good morning. My name is Donna Hamilton, and the thing that sticks out for me is community service as well. I am the Z-Hope coordinator for Beta Alpha Sigma Zeta chapter, which means I find opportunities for us in the community to help out. We recently parented with the Frederick County Social Services. We've also committed with the Frederick Rescue Mission, as well as Faith House. And locally and nationally, we also support the Military Women Appreciation and other opportunities. So I am so grateful to be a part of this, sorority. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you all for being here today to join in this celebration, and thank you for your service and your work for the community and for finer womanhood. Yes. So I really think it's all about having a positive attitude and creating that atmosphere of kindness and dignity and respect that everybody deserves. So I know your sorority is poised for continued service into a second century and beyond. Join me, if you see any of these women, in congratulating the members of Zeta Phi Beta on the sorority's 100th anniversary and commending the local chapter on their service and dedication to our Frederick County community. Few organizations can say that they have lasted for 100 years and really survived the test of time with the same basic goals and principles that will really take them through the second 100 years. and maybe beyond. The Beta Alpha Sigma chapter is committed to providing their time, talent, and service to enhance the quality of life for all the residents of Frederick County and uplifting the principles of the Zeta Phi Beta sorority. They are to be commended for helping to ensure a bright future for Frederick County. So thank you for joining us for Frederick at its best.